Okay, so today we're going to start talking about chapter 2, and the first section of chapter 2 is all about lines and angles, and there is going to be a quiz after the third section in this chapter. Again, this first lesson is going to be a lot of definitions, and then as we move further into the chapter, again, it's going to become more about equations and things along those lines. Okay, so parallel lines are going to be coplanar lines that do not intersect. Okay, again, coplanar, again, just think of a plane as a chalkboard. So two lines drawn on a chalkboard that never intersect. And again, when you look at the word parallel, they have two parallel lines inside the word. Okay, arrows are used to indicate the lines are parallel. So again, in the previous sections that we've done, we've talked about marking off sides of or pieces of line segments that are congruent with a little hash mark. Now you're going to see that you can use an arrow to say that two lines are parallel. So two lines are going to be parallel with a symbol. We use that symbol that has the two parallel lines. So AB is going to be parallel to CD. And again, from the picture, you can see that because of the two arrows that are drawn there. Okay, parallel planes are going to be two planes that don't intersect. So again, you can see from this picture here, think about that like if you had two pieces of paper and you held one in one hand and then held one above it. And you held them so they just didn't intersect. So those are two parallel planes. So plane J is going to be parallel to plane K. Skew lines. Skew lines are non-coplanar lines that are not parallel and do not intersect. I'm going to try my best to draw them in the picture. Again, it is very hard to visualize something 3D on a 2D screen, but I'll try my best. All right, so first let's look at this plane on the front of this box here. All right, so when I look at that plane, and I'm going to pick a line there, okay, it doesn't matter which one I pick, but I'm going to try to pick this one right here. Okay, so there's your line TP. Switch colors. And now I'm going to highlight the back side of the box. So if you picture the front as the red, and now the back is going to be purple. Let me try to do that. So there's the back side of the box. Okay, and now I want to find one of the lines on that plane in purple that is not parallel to TP. Okay, one of those lines is going to be this line. I'm going to try not to draw it further there to the left, is going to be WV. Okay, again, if I went further to the left, it might look like those two things intersect, but they don't. Literally, if you have a tissue box anywhere in your house, grab that tissue box, think about the front side, the back side, and the two things that I just highlighted. Try to visualize them on the tissue box, and you'll see that they're never going to intersect, okay, and they're not parallel. So we can say that TP and WV are skew. Another pair, just to do it one more time, that would be skew here. Let's this time highlight the side of this box. So we'll talk about that one right there. And now let's highlight QR. So there is a line that's on QR, on plane QR. And let's see what we could do for the other one. How about the other side of the box again? And let's color that one in. So again, we have opposite sides of the box. And again, we don't want the two lines to be parallel. So this one would be line TP there. Okay. Lines that would be parallel, if I highlight QR in that purple plane, and then let's say I go back to the other orange plane that I already have highlighted. If I highlighted SP, these two lines are now parallel. So again, you want one to go in, like, let's say one direction, and the other one to go in the complete opposite direction so that they're not parallel. Okay, so now we have a new picture and we want to answer the following questions. So which segments are parallel to AB? So AB is right here. Okay, so we're going to have a couple different things that can be parallel here. Okay, the line directly underneath it, right here, EF is going to be parallel to AB. If I look at the plane over here, CD is also going to be parallel to AB, and also down here, this line segment GH is going to be parallel to AB. Again, remember, you can think of a draw it here. You could think of a divider going diagonally across that box. So now AB and GH are in that same plane. So again, they'd be parallel. So we have EF, CD, and GH. And let's get rid of try to unconfuse the picture. Okay. So now we want to say which segments are skew to line CD. So here's line segment CD, and we want to find things that are skewed to that. Okay, so again, we want it to go in the complete opposite direction and be in a completely different plane. So again, if I just complete one plane that would be part of, so again, we're talking about that purple line being part of that segment. In the back, one that I see right away, if I highlight this line segment over here, that line segment FG is going to be skew. I'm going to try not to highlight the whole plane there because I feel like it's a tad bit confusing in the picture. Again, grab that tissue box and just kind of try to visualize it that way. So FG is going to be 1. And then another one that's going to be skewed to that one is going to be EH, the other line segment that's on this side of that plane. So again, this one and this one are not parallel. They're skewed. They're never going to intersect. So FG and EH. Again, let me clean up the picture. Hey, what are two pairs of parallel planes? So again, if you think about this as a box, you want the top of the box, the bottom of the box, or one side of the box, the other side of the box. So two pairs of parallel planes here. How about plane A, B, D is going to be parallel. That's A, B, D is the top side of that box. So now I want the bottom side of that box, which is going to be down here. So ABD is going to be parallel to EFH. And then I'm going to do the other two sides of the box on that side and that side. So for that one, ABF is going to be parallel to DCG. And then the last question for this one, we want two segments that are parallel to plane BCG. F. So again, let's try to clean that picture up quickly. And let's highlight the one that they're asking me about. So BCGF is going to be the back side of that box, or the top of that box, depending on, again, how your eyes play tricks on you. So two segments that are going to be parallel to that. How about segment AD, which you can't see the D right now because I so nicely drew over that. But that segment right there going across the bottom side of that box is going to be parallel. And the other one on this side is also going to be parallel. So how about AD and EH? Okay. All right, now this slide, you probably have seen a lot of this before, so just some reminder about some vocabulary here that is going to keep coming up over and over throughout the year. So a transversal is a line that intersects two or more coplanar lines at distinct points. So in this first picture, this line right here is your transversal. Okay, and when you have two lines that are cut by a transversal, you're going to have different types of angles that are formed. So corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are on the same side of the transversal and in the same position. So in this picture right here, there are 4 pairs of corresponding angles. Angle 2 corresponds to angle 6. Angle 1 corresponds to angle 5. And then on the bottom, angle 3 corresponds to angle 7. And angle 4 corresponds to angle 8. Alternate interior angles are non-adjacent and on opposite sides of the transversal. So there's only 2 pairs of alternate interior angles, and that's going to be here angle 3 and angle 5. That's one pair. And then your other pair would be 4 and angle 6. I'll try to give you some ways when we get into the parallel lines about what's special about these and kind of how to remember them. But for now, that's all you need to know. Alternate exterior angles, okay, are going to be interior angles that are non-adjacent and on opposite sides of the transversal. So we have 1 and 7, and then angle 2 and angle 8 are alternate exterior angles. Same side interior angles. So these are going to be angles that are on the same side of the transversal. And if you think of the two lines like two sandwiches, like two pieces of bread, they're going to be the angles that are on the inside of the sandwich. So angle 3 and angle 6 are on the same side, and angle 4 and angle 5 are on the same side. Okay, again, when we get into the next section, we'll start talking about specifically parallel lines and all those angles and what's special about them. But for now, we're just interested in how to name them. So for our last example here, we're going to use the picture to answer the following questions. We want to name a pair of alternate interior angles, and this time this is our transversal. So alternate interior angles are again going to be on the inside of the sandwich and on the opposite side of the transversal. So how about angle 2 and angle 6? Okay, your other pair would have been angle 3 or angle 7 and angle 7. Okay, again, they only asked for one, so I'll only write the one. What are 3 pairs of corresponding angles? So corresponding angles, again, basically if you think about it like cutting that transversal and then taking these angles and putting them on top of these angles, which angles land on top of which angles? So how about 4 and 2? So angle 4 and angle 2. And then how about, let's stick with that same part there. How about 3 and 1? And we only need one more pair. How about angle 5 and angle 7? Hey, there is one other pair here, but again, they only asked us for 3. You could have also said angle 8 and angle 6. Alternate exterior angles for part C is what we're looking for. So exterior angles are going to be on the outside of our sandwich. Okay, and again, on opposite sides of the transversal. So how about angle 4 and angle 8? Okay, it only asked us to name one pair. There is a second pair. Your other pair would be angle 5 and angle 1. Name an angle that is a supplement of angle 7. We did not talk about this yet, but an angle that's going to be a supplement to angle 7. Again, supplement means that it's going to add up to 180. And again, we're not talking about parallel lines here. So if you remember anything about parallel lines from last year, that's not what you're looking for here. So a supplement of 7, you just want it to form a straight line. So we're going to have only 2 different options for this one right now. Okay. 7 and 2 form a straight line. So an angle that's a supplement to 7 is angle 2. And again, they only asked us for 1, but if you went in the opposite direction, you also could have done 7 and 8 forming a straight line. You can't say anything about interior angles on the same side of the transversal in case you remember something about that, because these are not parallel lines. Okay, so just be careful of that here. Okay, so we only have 2 options there.